Hey bud, welcome back to the channel. So I recently got to do something that I haven't been able to do in months, and that's actually play Yu-Gi-Oh in real life. With everything that's been going on with Crush Card, it's made it incredibly hard, if not impossible, to actually play the game in real life. We've had to substitute in online things like Dueling Book and EDO Pro to actually get your Yu-Gi-Oh fix, but with some states and whatnot being able to open back up, we were a little bit fortunate that we live in one of the states that actually got to open back up. So I actually got to go out to a shop and experience, kind of what it's like, kind of going through and playing Yu-Gi-Oh in this type of environment. So I also wanted to vlog the experience so other people could see it too. I will say, the owner did follow all like CDC guidelines and things like that. We had to wear masks, we had to make sure we were social distancing properly, like we were making sure that we weren't touching a whole bunch of stuff and things like that. But I kind of wanted to show like how things might be, moving forward for a lot of different stuff and not just Yu-Gi-Oh. You'll kind of notice that I'm kind of trying some new things with vlogging and different types of filming and cinematic kind of stuff. I take a lot of inspiration from people like Ruggles and Nim Nim, and I love the way they make their content, so I wanted to give it a shot as well. And I thought this would be the perfect chance to try those kind of things. And if it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. You can let me know down in the comments if you like what's going on with it. I also have a live duel at the end, and I'm also going to be doing a deck profile of the deck that I took that day, which is Machina Orkest. But alright, let's get into it. Very nice, very nice. Focus. Cool. You can go ahead. Oh, I gotta grab my stuff, huh? Whoops. This place seems cool. Yeah, this place seems really cool. I'm getting a shot of the building real quick. What's going on?
You're vlogging already?
Yeah, dude. I got it going on.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Yo, this is Bean Soldier.
Yo, you know it.
That's what guy I've been editing for a little bit. So after we checked out the shop a little bit and got to see like the different cards they had, some different things they were doing, they were actually running a very nice promotion for anybody that came into the shop, and I think it was like 50% off all sealed product, and no, excuse me, 50% off all singles and 30% off all like sealed product, and I believe like accessories and that kind of stuff too. So after we got our cards, we picked up some stuff, we decided to sit down and play a game, and I played a quick match against my friend Bean Soldier TV. You'll see his link up in the description here, but he was playing the new Synchro Outlet while I was playing Machina Orkest, and the match went a little something like this. So he won the die roll to start the game and absolutely started to go off. The first thing he did was start with the Despot combo, going to 001, 003, then going into Needlefiber, then Auroradon, then popping out 2 more Despots, then popping his own Needlefiber with his Despot, getting the O-Lion, and then summoning Herald, then summoning Borreload Savage, and then another token off the Herald, and then he just set 3 and passed from there. And at that point I was a little confused, because I thought he had a little bit more that he could do. So I drew for turn, and I drew a Scrap Recycler, and my hand at this point is not very good. I activate Danger Nessie, he actually snipes the Nessie, so I ended up going and grabbing a Danger Bigfoot. Then he snipes my Performer Out Popper Up, which is a big misplay, and I should have just set the Popper Up beforehand, so I draw into a Scrap, or not a Scrap, a Symbol Skeleton, and I can't do anything from here. The hand is basically all normal summons at this point, and I have no other extenders. So I'm thinking I'm pretty boned at this point because he still has a negate, he still has an omni negate, he's got 3 back row, and I'm not feeling too great about it. So I just decided to tack into the Herald. Normal summon Scrap Recycler. He lets it go through, so I get a Orcust Nightmare. Then he activates a Hakero, followed up by a Sanguine to get another Eldritch out, or to get Eldritch out on the board, to then banish my Orcust Nightmare. And I pretty much saw the writing on the wall from there, and I decided to scoop it up pretty fast. So match 2, we opened up a lot better than match 1. We opened up 4 spells and Orcust Nightmare. We actually start off the match by activating Tuning and going into a Quick Draw Synchron. Then we discard Nightmare Orcust to activate Machina Redeployment. And get Citadel and Fortress. Then we activate Perform a Pop-Up, sending the Citadel and the Dark Ruler No More from hand to draw 2. So we draw into World Wand and Dangerous Tsuchinoko. So we're actually doing pretty okay. From here, I'm kind of thinking a little bit what my best play is to do, and I think that, you know, we should activate Quick Draw Synchron, sending the Tsuchinoko, then activating the effect of Tsuchinoko. So now we have 2 monsters on board. So then I send World Wand to special summon the Machina Fortress. From there, I go into Needle Fiber, and then I decide to go into Appaloosa. From there, he actually reminds me, I forgot the token before I activated the Orcust Nightmare, which was really nice of him. I didn't really have to do that, but we get the token back onto the field, and then we go into Orcust Nightmare, targeting the token to send a Civil Skeleton to the graveyard. So at this point, I've got 2 Orcust Nightmare, I've got a World Wand, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. So, and now I have a Simple Skeleton as well. So from here, we activate the Simple Skeleton, special summon the Nightmare. Then we go ahead and activate the World Wand to special summon the Simple Skeleton. Then we link 2 into Galatea. We go ahead and activate Galatea's effect, sending back the World Wand to get the Babel. We activate the Babel, and then we go into Dingirsu, attach the Nightmare, and then we go into IP Masquerena, and we pass it to our opponent. From here, I'm feeling pretty good, just because I've got an Appaloosa for 3, I've got an IP, I don't have a card in hand, so the Nightmare play is kind of dead, but I'm feeling okay with that, just because like I know like I can go into something else. And I have the Dingirsu send on top of that, so I'm not really too afraid of it. So he draws for turn. The first thing I do is shotgun Orcust Nightmare to add another 800 attack points to Appaloosa to add another counter to it, and I send Gizmek. Just in case, like if he wants to OTK or something like that. But he activates Lightning Storm. So I chain Gizmek, or I chain IP Masquerena, then Gizmek. So that way I can make Topologic Bomber Dragon. So immediately after that, he activates Eldritch in hand, popping the Bomber Dragon. Then he sets 1 card, gets Eldritch back on the field, has a 3500 beat stick, and just attacks. So he's not really able to do anything much more. He sets 2 cards in his back row. He activates Conquistador, setting a Sanguine. I go ahead and activate Simple Skeleton, going for Dingirsu, and I pop one of his back row, and it ends up being called by the grave. So we draw for turn, I draw into Machina Redeployment. There's really not much I can do with it, but at some point I actually went into Nightmare Unicorn. He popped it with a strike, so I activated a Simple Skeleton to get back Galatea. I activate Galatea's effect, sending one of the Nightmares back that was in my deck, or in my banished. He activates a Sanguine, he gets back another Eldritch. I set Orchestrated Crescendo. I'm kind of thinking at this point, like I gotta look through his graveyard, I gotta see what he's got. So I go for a Dingirsu. I decide to attach the Orcust Nightmare instead of anything else, because I think that's really going to be the best play at this point, instead of just trying to send an Eldritch, because if he draws into something, he can just beat over everything. And I'd rather have the ability to send the Nightmare to the graveyard to kind of recur some resources. So he draws return, he normal summons 003, which allows him to get Despot 001, and at this point I'm thinking, man, he's really going to start comboing off. He goes into Needle Fiber, and then special summons another Despot, then goes into Auroradon, and then goes into 3 tokens. But at this point he realizes like he's kind of stuck with the 3 tokens. He can't summon the Despots because of the other Eldritch on board. So he just decides to activate the Auroradon effect, popping his own Eldritch, which was pretty smart, because if he draws into like another spell or trap, or if he has a Eldritch spell or trap that he can activate in the graveyard, he can then get back the Eldritch to be able to swing over to Girsu, even though like I have the effect. So he pops it. He ends up popping the Orchestrated Return that I have in the back row, which I'm kind of okay with, because at this point like I just want to get back resources. Then he activates Sanguine in the graveyard, sets a card. I activate Crescendo in response. I get back into my hand a Symbol Skeleton. He sends his set card back, gets Eldritch, and I protect with Dingirsu, sending Orchestrated Nightmare to the graveyard. So now I'm kind of set up a little bit. In the end phase, he sends Aquero, sets a card, and off the top, I draw Cosmic Cyclone and pop that thing. A normal summon of Symbol Skeleton, and then a special summon of Gizmek. So I've got a couple different options, but I just decide to go into battle phase, kill the 3 tokens, and then go into a Galatea. Reactivate Symbol Skeleton in the graveyard to be able to get Dingirsu back onto the field. At this point, I'm thinking I should probably attach something, so I go ahead and attach the World Wand. He draws for turn. At this point, he can only set 1 card in defense mode and move Eldritch into defense mode. In the end phase, I activate Nightmare, sending the Symbol Skeleton, and then I activate the Skeleton, sending one of his Eldritch cards. For draw for turn, I draw into Scrap Recycler, send a Nightmare, activate Galatea, send back a Symbol Skeleton. I link 2 into a Longirsu, activate Longirsu, sending both Nightmare back. It's O-line I send, and he gets a token. I'm thinking like, okay, I activate Symbol Skeleton, get another Dingirsu, send his Eldritch. I go ahead and pop his token with a Gizmek. Then I activate World Wand to special summon Symbol Skeleton. I go ahead, link 4 into Boral Sword. We go ahead into battle phase. I attack over the Auroradon for 3k. I attack with Dingirsu, and then I activate Dingirsu effect, attack with Boral Sword, and we take the game. Unfortunately, we didn't get to play game 3 just because we had to leave. But it was nice being actually able to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! And check out this new shop that I'd never been to before. And before I end the episode, I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick deck profile of the deck I played, which was Machina Orkest. So for my Orcust deck, I start off by playing 3 Orcust Nightmare. It's pretty standard now that you have to play 3 Orcust Nightmare to get the deck kind of rolling. We played 2 a Symbol Skeleton and 1 Brass Bombard. Again, pretty standard now for any Orcust deck that needs to get rolling. You really don't want to play any more of each one of those, because you really don't want to see any more than possibly 1 in your hand. And we played 2 World Wand now. The second World Wand is now, if you do open up a World Wand and you send it to the graveyard off of Scrap Recycler, you can special summon the second World Wand as an extender. 1 Gizmek, which is pretty much been widely considered just an Orcust card now, because it's nice because it's level 8, you can bring it off of Orcust Nightmare, and it's a nice extender for the deck, and it's nice interruption if you can keep it on the field. Then we play 3 normal summons in the deck, and these are going to be Scrap Recycler. This basically does everything for the deck as far as the whole Scrap Wyvern and Lib combo, to just helping you get your Orcust pieces into the graveyard. Then we play the 1 brick Scrap Golem for the nice Scrap Wyvern and Lib combo to help get into like a 3 or 4 negate Appaloosa, and then continue plays on from there. Then we play kind of a little bit bigger of a danger package, just because I wanted to have something else like going first and going second. Play 1 Tsuchinoko, 1 Nessie, 1 Jackalope. That's pretty standard. But then we play 1 Bigfoot and 1 Thunderbird. So I thought with the addition of some other cards in the deck for this format, going second is a lot worse, but you still need something in the deck that can, just in case you lose the die roll. And I thought Danger Bigfoot and Danger Thunderbird would both help extend and disrupt your opponent if they do let it go through. Then we play Quick Draw Synchron. We play 2 of them. one Jet Synchron, and one O-Line. This is just to help with extenders, help to get Orcust cards in the graveyard. We don't play any Synchros in the deck. This is also some material for Halqifibrax. Then we play 3 Machina Fortress. These are the new cards after the Machina Madness or Mechanized Madness structure deck. They've actually been really good for the deck so far, just being able to help get another body on the board. Sending Orcust cards to the graveyard with Fortress's effect is actually really good from the hand. Plus you get a body, so that way you can actually go into like a full Orcust combo just off of Machina Fortress and like 2 other Orcust cards. And then we play 1 Machina Citadel. This is nice in case any of your machine monsters get popped. That way you can special summon this and then get a full like Regeki off of it. Then for spells and traps, we play 3 Machina Redeployment. Again, this is another discard card, but it allows you to search 2 different Machina cards from your deck to your hand. So you're searching Fortress and Citadel, then you're going to activate Fortress, send Citadel, special summon Fortress. So it actually helps thin the deck a little bit, get a body on board, and then set up your graveyard a little bit more. Then we play some draw power. We play 3 Performer Popper Up. This is kind of the big theme of the deck, is you play cards that help you send cards from your hand to the graveyard. This is just another one of those cards. So more often than not, you're going to send 2 or 3 cards from your hand to the graveyard. You're going to draw a couple cards that are going to help you build up your engine. And then we play 1 Orchestrated Return. I wanted to minimize the number of bricks in the deck, and I felt like sometimes Orchestrated Return can be a brick if you have no Orcust cards or World Legacy cards in your hand or on the field. So I didn't really want to see it as much as I wanted to see Performer Popper Up for the deck or some of the other discard cards, but I'm still testing that out. Then for this format, we play 3 Dark Ruler No More. With the boards that Eldritch Synchro and Adamantipator are able to build, you really need something that can just blow them out of the water and then allow you to play a little bit. So Dark Ruler No More is the best choice of the format. Hand traps really aren't doing as much, or else I probably would have played Ash or Inperm or something of that nature, but Dark Ruler No More is such a blowout card right now that I feel like it's necessary to main. And we play 2 Tuning to grab to our Jet Synchron and our Quick Draw Synchron. Then I play 2 Cosmic Cyclone for back row decks, some Rogue, and Eldritch. It's really nice for Eldritch just to be able to get rid of their back row and banish it, so that way they're not going to be able to get more resources off of what you destroyed. Then we play a couple one-offs. That's going to be World Legacy Succession for the Lib combo, Foolish Burial just to help you get stuff into the graveyard, and Orchestrated Babel just so you can search it off of Galatea, and then you activate all of your effects, become quick effects. Then we play 2 trap cards, and that's going to be Orchestrated Return and Machina Overdrive. Machina Overdrive is okay. I had it at 2 before. It really wasn't doing much. It's nice if you discard it, and then you can activate its effect later to help you get some resources back into your deck. However, I'm still not seeing the value off of it, and I may cut it for a different card. But for right now, I'm going to keep it in. But that's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we're playing 2 Galatea, 1 Longirsu, and then we're playing 2 Dingirsu, 1 Relinquished Anima. This I'm kind of going back and forth on whether I want to play this or I want to play Link Haribo. For right now, I feel like going second, and if you have Brass Bombard or some of your other level 1s that are in the deck, it's really nice, and you can kind of punish your opponent if they do leave those zones occupied. And then we play a myriad of Link 2 monsters, and that's going to be Lib, Scrap Wyvern, Halqifibrax, IP Masquerena, and Nightmare Phoenix. All these kind of symbolize different points in the deck where you can have some disruption and some extenders. Lib is actually a newest addition along with Halqifibrax from Dual Overload, just so that way you can keep extending. You can actually bring out different tuners. Lib is actually really nice with Scrap Wyvern just because it has a really nice combo with Scrap Wyvern and bringing back Scrap Golem, then bringing back Scrap Recycler to get another pitch with Scrap Recycler. So that's really nice. IP Masquerena is great for the deck, just being able to, go into a unicorn play and then still having another follow-up with Dingirsu and a Symbol Skeleton in the graveyard. And then Nightmare Phoenix is pretty standard, just being able to go into a Link 2 and pop a back row is pretty nice. Or if you need to get some cards off the field, you can do it that way too. Then we also play the Nightmare Unicorn to go along with the IP Masquerena play. And then we play we play 3 Link 4s, and that's going to be Topologic Bomber Dragon. I was actually thinking about making this Topologic Trisbania just because of how popular Eldritch has become. Then we play Borrelsword Dragon for the OTK, and Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess for your first turn play. Is just being able to make a 3 or 4 negate Appaloosa is really good. Most decks can't play around that outside of, I would say, Eldritch. But yeah, that's it for the extra deck. Alright, that's it. Thanks for sticking around to the end to watch the video. Please let me know if you like this type of content, you want to see some more of this, more vlog style content for my channel. I'm trying out some new things that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I really appreciate some feedback down in the comments. Like the video as well. Remember to subscribe, and yeah, we'll be back next week with more. See you later, bud.